सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयम् यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः। वाक्यार्थ उदय प्रकारम श्रौतम व्युत्पादयति। वाक्यार्थ उदय प्रकारम, how the meaning of the vakya, the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. Udaya, how does that meaning arise? That method which is expounded by the Shruti, he explains reasoning in the verse 223. Tvamartham pratyagatmanam pasyet atmanam atmani वाक्यार्थम तथा आत्मानं सर्वं पश्यति केवलम्। शान्त्यादि साधन संपन्नो भूत्वा शान्तः दान्तः उपरतः तितिक्षुः, thus being possessed of the samadhi shitka sampatti. Atmaneva. Now see, when the mind is now clear, purified and made mature with the samadhi shatka sampatti also, and of course by the shravanam and mananam also, then mind gains the ability to see one's own true self as the mind always sees. The mind is always aware of the self, except that awareness comes to the mind, and when the mind becomes equipped with samadhi shatka sampatti, sees the atma as it is, atmani pasyet atmanam atmani. Sees oneself in oneself means sees oneself as what one is, as which I am always seeing. As the mind changes, that seeing also changes. Tvamartham pratyagatmanam, means the word tvam in the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. Atmanam atmani pasyed, see the self within oneself, in one's own mind. So this is how tvamartham pasyed. Vakyartham atmanam. Then vakya, the meaning of the vakya, tattvamasi, that this tvam also is tat, which is the self of all. Sarvam pashyati kevalam, sees that all there is nothing but Brahman, nothing but the self. एवं शोधितं प्रत्यगात्मानं सर्वं ब्रह्म पश्यति इति श्रुत्यर्थो दर्शितः. Shoditam pratyeka atmanam, thus when pratyeka atma is seen for what it is, meaning the seeing the identity of pratyeka atma is Brahman, then you see that what is Brahman. Evam vijñāta vākyārtasya vidigocarata naiva sambhavati. Thus who has seen the meaning of the Mahavakya, seen the meaning of one's own self. That I am seeing meaning of Mahavakya is seeing what's the meaning of the word I really. That I am Brahman, I am Purnaha, I am the self of all, I am all I am there is, one without a second. This is the way one sees oneself. Vidhi gocharata naiva sambhavati. He is no more available for any vidhi or injunction or command, do this and don't do that. Sarvamatmeti vijñāte vakyārthe vijñātescha pramanatah asatve hyanyamanasya vidistvam yojayet katham. Vakyārthe pramanatah vakyārthe vijñāte. When by the pramana of the Shruti, vakyārthe, mahavakyārthe, vijñāte, when one knows the meaning of Mahavakya, aham brahmasmi. Says pramanatah, because Shastra is the pramanam for this. And one sees the meaning of the statement, aham brahmasmi. So that is used as a basic basis for recognizing what is my nature. What's the nature of anything? The basis is sarvam khalvidam brahma, aham brahmasmi, tattvamasi. Then one sees that all there is oneself, one sees non-duality of one's own self. Asatvehi anyamanasya, there is no other pramanam that can contradict this. So pratyaksham, anumanam, these means of knowledge are available. They don't contradict what the Upanishad says. So some people feel that our perception, we see duality and that contradicts what Upanishad says. Does not contradict. We see what we see through our sense perception and we interpret it in a certain way. Upanishad tells us how to interpret what you perceive, that's how. What perception doesn't change. The way I interpret that changes when then I see the meaning of that Mahavakya, meaning of myself. Vidistam yojet katham, when all he is I, all I am is myself. I am one non-dual, complete self, in which nothing remains to be done. Nothing can be added, nothing can be taken away. In that, what karma, no role karma doesn't perform role as far as self is concerned. If karma has no role to perform, then that adesha, do this or don't do that, also doesn't have any applicability here. Tasmad vakyartha vijnana urdham karma vidhi na bhavet. Therefore, after knowing the meaning of the statement, Mahavakya, there is no scope for karma vidhi, enjoining any karma. Because it's so brahmasmi iti cha vidya, nahi brahmasmi iti karta, so the very karta also disappears. The notion that I am karta disappears, let us say. In the knowledge that I am Brahman, that the notion that I am a karta or a limited being has no more any scope, that recognize that it was the result of identification of buddhi. And therefore, now there is no one to perform karma. Now when the karta is not there, there is no one to perform karma, then who are you going to tell to perform karma? Only karta can be commanded to do something. When sense of kartrutva is not there, there is nobody to respond to that injunction. Ni brahmasmi karta iti viruddhaye bhavato dhiyau bhava. So there cannot be simultaneously these two contradictory notions or contradictory perceptions that I am Brahman as well as I am Karta. Because Brahman eliminates or dismisses the idea of Kartritvam, which is a notion arising from the identification of the body. When I am identified with my true self, then this notion of Kartritva cannot remain. Meaning that the buddhi cannot simultaneously have two contradictory notions about oneself. To know oneself is Brahman and to know oneself as Karta are contradictory. Therefore, that Kartritvam cannot remain. So, now going to verse 226. ननु ऐक्यज्ञानेन भेदज्ञानमेव किमिति न बाध्यते किमिति बाधे विपरीतमेव किम न स्यात्. Why do you say that aham brahmasmi? That knowledge dismisses the knowledge aham karta. That is bhedajnanam. Bheda means duality, division. So karta is different from karma, is different from kriya, and different from karma phala. This is called Vedajnanam, seeing the divisions, the dualities. Aikyajnanena Vedajnanam Bhadyate. I see myself as a self of karta and karma and self of all. Self of all means I am the self of karta, I am self of karma, I am self of karma phala, of everything. Aikyajnanena Vedajnanam Bhadyate. I realize that there is one self alone that is in the role of karta and karma and kriya and karma phala, and what is one self in various costumes. So formally the conclusion that was arrived at by going reality of costume is no more that I see that in all these different costumes all there is myself. So aikyajnana bhedajnanam bhadyate. When you see the same actor in all of them, then thinking that this is the beggar and this is the king, all that is bhadyate, that is negated. He says, why should that have viparitam kim? Why should it not have viparitam kim nasyat? That this is a beggar and this is a king and this is a minister. Why should that not dismiss the idea that this is an actor? Why not? And so the verse 226 says, Brahmasmi tisha vidyeyam naiva karteti badhyate sakamo baddha ityevam pramana bhasa jataya. Brahmasmitiyam vidya pramana abhasa jataya. So this is a knowledge. Brahmasmi, this is vidya. This is knowledge because it is in keeping with the reality. That's called vidya. Knowledge is that which is in keeping with what is. What is that the self is Brahman. And therefore, Brahmasmi iti vidya. Therefore, that I am Brahman is the knowledge of reality that it is. Karta iti, that I am, that does not now dismiss that I am Brahmasmi. Sakamo baddha ityevam, that I am sakamaha, possessed of the kamna desires. Baddha, I am bound. Aham karta, I am a doer. So all these notions, pramana, abhasa, jataya, All the notions were born of the abhasa, pramana abhasa. So this is not pramanam. My conclusion that I am karta is not born of any valid means of knowledge. I think that I intimately know myself as karta. Sakamoham, baddhoham, kartaham. My notion right now is that I am possessed of desire, I am bound, I am a karta. This is not born of pramanam, meaning that this is not born of the knowledge of the reality, knowledge of truth. The karta is a notion arising from identification with buddhi. Sakamaha is born of identification with the mind where the kamnas are there. Baddha, so sakamoham, baddhoham, kartaham. These are the kind of notions that I have about myself which are all born of identification with one or the other aspect of the upadhi. So I think that is my true nature. This is how I have been looking upon myself. But that is pramana abhasa. It's not born of the result of the true means of knowledge, is abhasa. This is what my buddhi says. What Vedanta says that you are Brahman, that is Pramanam, because that cannot be negated. Then I realize that Baddhoham, Kartaham, Sakamam, all of these are notions. Not that in the wake of the knowledge that I am Sakama, that Brahman, I am Brahma is notion. When I see myself as Brahman, then I realize that Sakamoham, Kartaham, Baddhoham, they are all notions born of identification of one or the other aspect of Upadhi. So pramana abhasa jataya. Pramana abhasa jata. It's not pramanam, pramana abhasa. It is the notion of the buddhi and not the knowledge of the reality. And so even though right now my life is based on this conclusion that I am a karta, bhokta, sakamoham, baddhoham, which I have concluded is the true nature, so that is a notion, not a knowledge. That is not the knowledge born of the true perception of yourself. You are perceiving yourself along with some costume and then concluding this is what I am. And then you never inquire that a minute ago I thought I am a karta, now I think that I am bhokta. Then I am sukhi, then I am dukhi, that my notion about myself keeps on changing. Should it be? Should there be consistency in myself or it keeps on changing? How can the truth cannot change? But we have never bothered to ask these things. So these notions, kartaham, sakamoham, baddha is born of pramana abhasa, which I think I perceive, I see myself. You see yourself what? I have a direct knowledge, perception, pratyaksha jnana. What you perceive is buddhi. What you perceive is upadhi. You have to know the nature of the perceiver. You can't perceive the perceiver. So what you perceive is your buddhi, etc., and then you think that's what I am. So continuing, स्वभाव प्रवृत्तायाः बुद्धेः प्रमाणजातया बाध्यत्वं दृष्टान्तेन उपपादयति. This buddhi is the notions. Swabhava pravuttaya. It is nature of the buddhi to identify. And then judge oneself as karta, bhukta, sukhi, dukhi, baddha, mukta, whatever. It is swabhava of the buddhi. Swabhava pravuttayaha buddhehe. This is a swabhavik pravutta buddhi to identify with the one or the other aspect of the personality, of the upadhi. Pramana jataya badhyatvam. Pramana jataya buddhya. So naturally this notion is negated by the knowledge that is born of the pramana, valid means of knowledge. So why is Mahavakya called pramana? Because that Mahavakya enables me it makes me recognize that what I think is notion. Mahavakya enables me to give up the identification. And then what I know myself is not negatable anymore. So that is called abhaditam. The true knowledge must always be abhaditam. So that which cannot be negated. So therefore, pramana jataya badhyatvam. On the other hand, the notions I have of myself right now are all subject to being negated. But aham brahmasmi, that will negate every notion that I have. Dushtantin upadayati explains with reasoning by illustration, verse 227. Shastrat brahmasmi nanyoham iti buddhir bhaved dridha yada yukta tadaivam dhihi yatha dehatma dhiriti. Brahmasmi nanyoham iti shastrat. This is shastra. That Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Nanyaham asmi, I am not anyone other than Brahman. Iti buddhi dhrudha bhaved. So when you keep on deliberating and seeing this fact, and with nididhyasanam, then the samskara, the aham Brahma becomes dhrudha. That svabhava of seeing myself as a jiva, then that they're overcome by this new samskara of aham brahmasmi. Nanyamid buddhi bhavedruda, that I am different from Brahman, that buddhi, that notion, nanyo, I am not other than Brahman, that buddhi becomes druda. So next page the Tika says Dhrudha yada bhavet. So nanyohamiti buddhi dhrudha yada bhavet. Is bhavet dhrudha? Yada dhrudha bhavet. That this knowledge that I am not other than Brahman, that becomes firm. Tada evam dhihi. Next line, tada evam dhihi. Tada evam kartaham it is evam dihi. This buddhi or the notion aham karta iti ayukta. That cannot survive in the wake of the knowledge that I am Brahman. Aham karta bhokta, that cannot survive because it is totally contradictory. Tada evam dihi. Kartaham it evam dihi ayukta iti. Tada yukta ayukta yada. Next line yada ayukta. Tada evam dihi. So yada buddhi dhrudha bhavet tada evam dihi ayukta. So when aham brahmasmi, that buddhi becomes dhrudha, then this karta aham, bhokta aham, etc., that ayukta is improper, then it cannot, I see the fallacy of that. यथा देहात्मधि मनुष्यम इत्यादि रूपा शास्त्रात् विदितात्म तत्वस्य न भवति. So यथा देहात्मधि, that's an example. Just as then I am the body, that notion no more remains. What is dehatmati? Manushya ityadi rupa. I am a human being, etc. So that comes from taking the body to be myself. Shastra Viditatma Tattvasya. Then one who has known the truth of the self based on the Shastra that I am Brahman, then Dehatmadi Inna Bhavati, then the false notion that I am the body no more remains when you abide in the knowledge that I am Brahman, then that I am body, that doesn't remain. So that becomes an example. So tatha, the karta hamiti dihi ayukta, similarly also, aham karta bhokta is also improper, that also cannot remain. विदितात्म तत्वस्य कर्ता कामी इत्यादि धीहि अनवकाशाय इति उक्ते अर्थे विदितात्म तत्वस्य one who is known the truth about one's own self, for that person कर्ताहम कामीहम इत्यादि धीहि अनवकाशा. The notion that I am a doer, notion that I am a desirer, that cannot stand in the wake of the knowledge that I am Brahman, I am complete, I am whole. Iti ukte arthe, this is what was stated earlier. Dushtantantrama, another Dushtanta is being stated in the verse 228. Sabhayad abhayam praptaha tadartham yatate chayah sapunasthabhayam gantum swatantraschenna hichchate. Sabhayat avayam praptaha. A person who was in a place where there was fear, from there now he is now located to a place which is free from fear. So fear means samsara, and free from fear is the moksha or liberation. Sabhayad abhayam praptaha. In the day-to-day life also, a person who formerly lived in a place where there are many areas which are full of fear. In US, there are many motels in US which are located where there is a constant threat of anybody will come and shoot you. There are motels, there are stores, there are many things, places, neighborhoods where the danger is always there. And then you relocate into another area where this is not there, abhayam praptaha. Then you altogether have a different feeling. Formerly you are always scared. Like the people are always scared. In Israel, at any time some bombardment or something will come, shells will be fired at you, and vice versa. These fellows will also shoot them down. Always live in fear from one another, from each other. So from there you give up that place and now relocate to America or Europe or some place. Sabhayat abhayam praptaha tadartham yatate chayah, and for that it requires an effort. So one who makes an effort to make sure that I relocate from a place which was full of fear to a place now which is safe. From an unsafe place, now I relocate to a safe place. For that I have to make an effort. From bondage you have to make an effort to become liberated. Naturally, you don't just shift one place to the other. But there is an example. Sapunas sabhayam gantum swatantres chain nahi chati. If he is free, swatantra, then if he is free to do what he likes, then certainly he would not want to go back to the place which was unsafe. From unsafe place, when one is deliberately located a safe place, if he had the freedom, he would not want to go back there. Loka prasiddhartha anuvadi shloka. So this is something very well known to everybody. And so from bondage, nobody wants to go to, from liberation, nobody wants to go to bondage. From bondage is all sabhayam. He has now become liberated. Who will want to go? So karta bhokta is all sabhayam. Then a question that may have been asked earlier is now being answered here. Yaduktam niyog abhave jnaninaha yatheshta chesta prapti. Vedantin says that the jnani or wise person is no more available for niyoga or any injunction. So you can enjoin, you can command somebody to perform duty or perform an action. The person who has the notion about who that person, who I am, that I am a son, I am a daughter, I am so and so, then when who has this self-identification, a person who can be commanded, then you do this. But one has become free from identification, then he is not available for any command. Brahmano yajeta, they say, the son should do and daughter should do and Brahmana should do. He doesn't identify with anything. Then that person is not available for any injunction at all. So, niyoga bhava, then jnaninaha yatheshta chesta prapti. So, if this jnani is no more now within the realm of niyoga or of injunction, within the scope of injunction, that he cannot be enjoined to do something. He is swatantra, to do what he wants to do. And that is called freedom anyway. Freedom is also that you are no more commanded by anybody, including scriptures. Yatheshta chesta prapti. Then he has no fear of transcending the scriptural injunctions also. Then he is likely to do, likely to violate. If there is no fear of following the law, being punished by the law, it is likely that a person will do what he wants and in that process may violate the law. Because following law always involves some stress, strain. Always involves some self-control, some self-restraint is always involved to follow the law. Not following the law, no self-restraint. So everybody loves that. So now if jnani also is not available for any injunction, then would it not happen that he will also take for granted and that he will also use his liberty to do what he wants and violate norms, will he not? Yatheshta chesta prapti. There is an occasion of yatheshta chesta, of behavior, yatheshta, as he desires. So, this question is generally dealt with. So, the next verse is Yatheshta charana prapti sannyasadi vidhau kutaha padartha jnana buddhasya vakyarthanubhavarthinah. Sannyasadi vidhau. Adipada shravanadi vidhi grishyate shrotavya mantavya nididhyasavya is a vidhi. Sannyasya shravanam kuryat. One should listen having renounced. So they seem to be like the vidhi of sannyasa and also that shravanam. So padartha jnana buddhasya, that would have been easy. Padartha jnana buddhasya. Padartha ajnana buddhasya, no. So says padartha ajnana buddhasya. Padarthayo asamanta jnanam. Padartha jnana buddhasya. Padarthayo, which padarthayo tattvam padarthayo. Asamanta jnanam, total knowledge, is padartha jnanam. Padartha swarupa alochanam. So knowledge of both the padartha, tvam and tat. And asamanta jnanam, know them totally, know them very well, without, so padartha swarupa alochanam, one has deliberated upon the Swarupa, the essential nature of Tat and Tvam, and now has got clarity about what these words mean. Tena Buddhasya, with that knowledge now, one has woken up to one's true identity, true Buddhasya, Dehaviman Shunyasya Yavada. That now he is awakened to the knowledge that I am Brahman, therefore no more he takes the Deha out of himself, becomes free from the identification Deha or body or Upadhi. So Padartha Ajnana Buddhasya Vakyartha Anubhavarthina Anubhavarthi Anubhavasya Arthi, the desires of Anubhava or experience. Vakyartha Anubhavarthina. So Jnanat Buddhasya, that is Pratibuddhasya itiva, Vakyartha Anubhavam Arthayamanasya. So Vakyartha Anubhavarthina. Arthi means one who is desirous. Anubhavarthi, one who is desirous Anubhava. Vakyartha Anubhavarthi is one who is desirous of the experience or direct knowledge of Vakya or meaning of the Mahavakya. So now he has known the meaning of the words Tat and Tvam. He is desirous now to know the meaning of the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. So Padartha Jnana Buddhasya, one is woken up to the knowledge of the Padartha Tat and Tvam. Vakyartha Anubhavasina, and now is desirous of the Anubhava or direct knowledge of the Vakyartha Tattvamasi. The Tatreva Lagna Chittasya. So now there is, he is devoted to knowing the meaning of the Mahavakya, Lagna Chittasya. One's mind is totally absorbed in that. So one who is absorbed in that, merged in that, Kuto Yatheshta Acharan, he has no scope of thinking of anything other than this. Now that he has known the meaning of the words Tat and Tvam, only thing he wants to know is the meaning of the statement, which identity is committed now or devoted to knowing or experiencing the meaning of identity. Where is the scope of his identity? Where is the scope of doing what he likes to do? Because the question of Yatheshta Acharanam, that I like to do what I like to do, when there is a pressure of that desire within himself. But there is an impulse. It's an impulse that will force me to do something. That impulse comes from the ragadveshas, kama krodha. But then kama is always with reference to the worldly objects. Desire for Atma is not called kama. So he is devoted to merely knowing the true nature of Atma. There is no scope of any worldly entities in his mind. There cannot be desire for any worldly objects or achievements. And if that is so, then you may have to take liberty. And now you have to reach there in a certain time, and there are all these traffic lights, and you look around and, jump the traffic light. This liberty, 4 o'clock in the morning, there is nobody around. You don't respect all the stop signs and you're in a hurry. Nobody is watching. So now there is a pressure within you to reach there in time and you are late, so there is something forces you. And if that overwhelms you, then you are likely to take liberty with the rules. But there is no force inside, there is no karma at all, because he is only in the process of experiencing the fullness. In the fullness, there is no scope for any karma, desire, or any other impulse. So there is nothing now which will force him to, or compel him to do something, which violates the law. Meaning that the person becomes free from all compulsion. When there is no compulsion, then he is free to follow the law. See, we are We all like to follow the law. Because then there is relaxation, there is freedom. A person violates the law when doesn't have freedom within, that something within him forces him. Then only law is violated, not otherwise. So, yateshtachana prapti nimitta bhava. The very reason for violating the law or taking liberty is not there because it doesn't have liberty. Doesn't see the need of taking liberty, is quite comfortable with the law or with what the basic order is. Nimitta bhavat, avasara bhavat. There's no reason, there is no occasion also. Therefore, yateshtachana prapti kutaha. What is the scope of the yateshta acharanam or taking liberty with the basic code of conduct? Prabuddha vakyarthasya tu mithyajnalesasyapi abhavat. There is no even a little iota of false knowledge. Tanmula yathet. Therefore, all yateshta chesta or violation of any law comes only because of identification of some place. Ego, you identify something. Some goal, some gain, some prapti, some accomplishment, then only you violate. And since it doesn't have anything, there is no scope for violation. Tanmula yateshta na unmishati. Therefore, yateshta chesta, which calls for mithya jnanam, which is what we call kama or we call impulse, that being not there, there is no scope for any kind of need for violating the order. So yateshta chesta has no scope for the wise person. Prakaranartham upasamharati ataha. Therefore, next verse is one line. Atas sarvamidam siddham yat pragasmabhiriritam. Ataha yat pragasmabhiriritam. Therefore, whatever we said earlier, sarvamidam siddham, that is all established to be true. Whatever we have said about the wise person, that there is no scope for an injunction, and therefore all this repetition, aham brahmasmi, etc. So this kind of things have no scope, no action, kartrutvam is not there, and therefore this kind of mental repetition, all of these has no scope. There is no injunction, no yateshta chesta. That is freedom. Freedom from the need to violate the law. If there is a need to violate the law, there is bondage. Freedom from need to violate. He has no problem in following the law. He is equally free to follow the law. Then, that is called freedom. Mumukshopi nasti yateshta chesta kutastha muktasya syat. Now the teacher says that let alone the wise person, even a mumuksha, an aspirant also will not indulge into any kind of taking liberty with the law. Even a mumuksha will not. Then where is the question of wise person? Kyun vaktavyam? If the mumuksha also has no incentive or no urge to violate the law, where is the question of the wise person? So verse 231 says, Yo yasmad viraktasyat naso tasmai pravartate lokatrayad viraktatvat mumukshu kimiti hate. Yo yasmad viraktasyat Nasu tasmai pravardate. When you discover disinterest, dispassion in something, dispassion means freedom from the passions of raga and dvesha. It's called virakti. There is no passion, neither raga nor dvesha. You are comfortable with it. You don't want things to change. You don't want them to be different from what they are. You are comfortable. Nasavut, then there is no need to change anything. When there is vairagya, when you discover your healthy relationship, then you are healthy according to what is. That is called vairagya, healthy relationship, when you are comfortable with what is. There is no need to change anything. Then yo yasmad viraktah syat naso tasmai pravardate. When you are now comfortable with what is, there is no incentive to change anything. To enjoy something. We discover freedom from all ragadveshas, then that attachment, aversion, etc. is not there, then any activity prompted by attachment, aversion cannot be there. Lokatrayad viraktatva, the wise person, is even a mumukshu also has no interest in lokatraya. He doesn't want any worldly accomplishment at all. Mumukshu kimiti ihate. Then, therefore, mumukshu also has no need for any chesta to change anything, acquire something. Very question of wise person. Vidusha niyogapartantra abhavepi भिक्षाटनादि प्रवृत्तिवत् विषयांतरेपि प्रवृत्ति कदाचित् स्यात्. All right. So true that a wise person is free from any injunction, any command, niyoga partantra bhavepi, given command by the scriptures, because he is one with the scripture. I mean, that he is not going to violate anything, that's the whole. Not that he is free to do what he wants. There is no need to do what he wants. Bhikshatanadi pravruti, but then Bhikshatanadi is going to be there. So Vishayantare pravruti kadachit syat, then just as it does Bhikshatanam, so also he may, act in some other things also like Bhikshatan. So the next verse is Shrudaya pīdyamānopi navisham hyattvamicchate vrustannadvastatrujjanan namudastajjihitsate. Shrudaya pīdyamānopi, even though one is very much bothered by hunger, so he is very hungry, na visham hyattvamicchate, even then he will not want to consume poison. Even though he is extremely hungry and very badly looking for some food, he suddenly will not want to consume poison. Then Mustana Dvastatrud, then one who is already full with Mristan, so with delicious food, so then when he is totally satisfied with the delicious food, Amura, then who will want that poison? Even an extremely hungry person also will not want to consume poison. Then where the question of one is totally full, that he would want to consume poison, there is no question. So tika vishayanam dukkha sadhanata udharana purvakam prageva vishavat tyaktanam. So Vedanta describes Vishayas as Visha, like poison. So even as a mumukshu also, it given up all those vishayas as vishaya, because you may, it's a slippery path, and therefore it's better to keep away from that. Vishaya vatyaktanam na puna upadana mudasya sambhavati. Amudasya sambhavati. Then, so Vishavatyakthanam, that which has been abandoned or given up like poison, so then when he was even a seeker, he had given up. Now that he is an enlightened person, he is not to indulge into what is known as poison. Vikshatanadestu jnanistha virodhabhavat. But going for Vikshatana, etc., is not opposed to knowledge or abundance in knowledge. Sri sthiti matra hetutaya avashyatvepi. Because Vikshatana is necessary for sustaining the body. Apurva upachaya hetutva bhavat. You don't go for Vikshatana, we're going to put on weight and some other kind of agendas are there. Upachaya, there is no upachaya or growth, etc. Therefore, samskar vashat anuvritti. You may, you might, in all these circumstances, you may choose your food so that it suits your, constitution, etc., etc., or you want this vitamin and this protein and this, that, and so forth. Now he doesn't have that kind of an identification in his body, or it doesn't. So he just sharira sthiti matra hetu there. The only thing that he is concerned about is sustaining the body, not fattening the body, etc. And so Bhikshatana will sustain the body. He doesn't look upon that as a means of anything other than sustenance of the body. Am samskara vasad anuvritti. And anuvritti is following the previous habit by samskara, by the the vasanas that he has. So Bhikshatana, there is no dosha. He is always doing Bhikshatana, therefore the samskara, then he will go it without effort also, because it will become habitual. And so, and again, earlier also, Bhikshatana was for Sharira Sthiti. So now it cannot change. Even when he was a mumukshu, it was a condition. How can it change now that he has become a wise person? Now, therefore, there is no dosha in Bhikshatana, etc. And they were concerned that when you do Bhikshatana, will you not engage some other activity, but those activities are all given up like Vishavat. He is not going to adopt them again. Vrishtan dvasta trut. So one whose trut or tusha, or the hunger is appeased now by delicious food, amudaha nata jigitsati, doesn't want to now, so he doesn't want to consume poison anymore. And he never wanted to consume even when he was hungry. Where is the question of a person seeking to consume poison when he is full with desired food? Okay. Utpanna tattva jnanasti yadyapi kyami vikrityam nasti. So wise person has no kartavya now, meaning that he has to do or he cannot do that. Tathapi guru shastre mananiyeva iti. Guru shastre mananiyeva. But the guru and shastra must be respected, even by a wise person. Iti shishyan shikshan iva. So here the guru also wants to educate us, shishyas, that look, even if you become wise, still, as far as guru and shastra are concerned, they have to be revered. Just because you are a wise person doesn't mean I don't care for guru and I don't care for shastra, etc. So, guru shastra mananiyeva. You can see all the traditional Mahatmas, they always have a tremendous reverence for gurus, for Shastra, for everything. So nobody becomes arrogant or proud or whatever. Shishyan, Shikshan, Iva. So therefore, educating the disciples in general, Guru Pramanam and Guru Pranamam should be there, Nibadnati. The chapter is concluded with a pranama or with salutation to Guru. Vedanta Vakya Pushpebhyah Jnanamritamadhuttamam Ujjaharali Vadyo Naha Tasmai Sadgurave Namaha. Tasmai Sadguru Guru Pramana, not Pranam, Guru Pranam Nibadnati. Tasmai Sadgurave Namaha. To Sadguru, the one who has given the knowledge of Sat or the truth or the self, to my Guru who gave me, imparted to me the knowledge of the truth, Namaha, my salutation. So what did the Guru do? Vedanta Vakya Pushpebhyah. So Vedanta Vakyas are like the flowers, like the Brahma Sutra also does that same, takes Vedanta Vakya and makes a nice beautiful garland out of that. Here in the garden of Vedanta, there are all these flowers in terms of the statements of Vedanta. So there are chosen statements. Jnana Amrita Madhu Uttamam. So flowers contain madhu, the honey. What kind of honey? Jnana Amritam. So just as the traditional flowers contain honey, so also the flowers in the form of the statement of Vedanta contain the honey of knowledge. Uttamam Ujjahara. So one who collected, extracted. So just as a bee, Ali means a bee. So just as a bee will extract honey from various flowers, so also those who extracted the honey of knowledge from various flowers of the statements of the scriptures, Vedanta. Tasmai Sadgurave Namaha. This is what our Guru did. That he, from the Vedanta Vakyas, he extracted the honey. And for us, for the disciples, so therefore, to that Guru who did all this for us. Because we had we could not independently, directly reach the Vedanta Vakya. Because we would not understand them, and so it is necessary to reach Vedanta Vakyas only through Guru. Otherwise, there is always the possibility of a lot of confusion, a lot of misunderstanding. And so, Saguru Meva Vigatche, one must approach the teacher. Which is where Bhashyakara says that Shastrajñopi Swatantrena Brahmanveshanam na kuryat. Brahmanveshanam. So even one who is maybe well versed with Shastra, with logic and grammar, etc., should not independently try to understand the meaning of the statements, do it through Guru only. Looks like to establish a Gurudom or something like that, but no, that's not so. As our Puja Swami would say that to understand one verse of Gita, you must know all the verses because every verse is connected in one way or the other with the rest of them. So to know verse number 1, you must know all the rest of them. To know the rest, you must know this. So it's a catch-22. So you must go to one who knows all the verses. That is where you go to the teacher. And therefore the importance and necessity of Guru is established, and the contribution of Guru in one's life also is acknowledged here. And with all humility and devotion and reverence, this pranama or the salutation is done by the disciple with all the devotion and reverence. But there is a sense of gratitude here. Look what I got. What? So regardless of how much how much hard he worked for me to collect all this knowledge from various places and give me. So that's one thing. And so there is a tremendous sense of gratitude here. What can you do? You cannot return the favor of the Guru. All you can do is the pranam. That's all you can do. And so this is what the teacher here does to his own Guru also, that all I can do is just namaskara. Because I have nothing else to return to the Guru, nor does he expect anything. At the same time, what can I give? I have nothing to give other than my pranama. So that's how Ujjahara alivadyo naha. Naha means asmadartham, for our purpose, one who extracted the honey of the knowledge from the flowers of the various statements of Vedanta. To that Guru, our namaskar, salutation. So that's how this prakaranam concludes with the namaskar, salutation, an expression of gratitude and reverence and devotion to the Sadguru. All right, so we'll also conclude here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Kruto Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Alivadyo Naha Tasmai Sad